जी इज विद अस ऑन द फोन लाइन। आरपी सिंह जी, आपके पास कुछ एडिशनल इन्फॉर्मेशन है क्या? बताया जा रहा है कि करीबन 150 लोग अंदर थे गुरुद्वारे के जब यह हमला हुआ।
लगभग 165 लोग हैं। जो लोग हिंदुस्तान आना भी चाहते हैं वो वीजा मांग रहे हैं। हमने प्रधानमंत्री जी और एमए जी सबसे रिक्वेस्ट की है, एक्सटर्नल अफेयर से, कि उनकी मदद की जाए, उनको भारत लाया जाए। अब पता नहीं कितने लोगों की अंदर हत्या हुई, कैसे हुई, कोई जानकारी नहीं, कितने लोगों को मारा है। परंतु ये दुर्घटना सचमुच दिल जलाने वाली है कि वहां पर कुछ कुल मिलाकर 150-200 लोग ही बचे हैं, 200 सिख ही बचे हैं। उनकी भी अगर स्थिति इस प्रकार की है तो दिल जलाने वाला मामला है। जिस प्रकार से गुरुद्वारे में घुसकर आग लगी है, वहां पर गोलियां चलाई हैं, वहां पर जो अध्यक्ष हैं गुरनाम सिंह जी, उनकी मेरे एक मित्र से बात हो पाई थी तो गुरनाम सिंह जी रो रहे थे उस समय कि हमारे को बचाओ। वहां पर इस प्रकार की स्थिति बनी है, इसलिए हम निवेदन करते हैं प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी से कि इसमें मदद की जाए।
जी सर, क्योंकि अभी तक ज्यादा कुछ डिटेल से पता नहीं चल पा रही है कि कितने लोग अंदर थे, कितने लोग अभी बचे हैं, कितने लोगों की जान गई है, और अभी तक ये हमला जारी है सर।
हाँ, हमला भी जारी है। जो अभी मेरी थोड़ी देर पहले बात हुई, जो गुरनाम सिंह के संपर्क में है, उन्होंने बताया कि हमला भी जारी है।
जी सर, बट हम रीइंफोर्समेंट के लिए देखेंगे कहाँ से, उम्मीद कहाँ से लगाएंगे? क्या तालिबान सरकार इसमें इंटरवीन करेगी सर?
अब हाल में तालिबान सरकार के लोगों ने टीवी पे आकर इंटरव्यू दिए, यहाँ पे भारत के टीवी चैनल्स पे आकर। उनके इंटीरियर मंत्री भी थे, कि मैं देख रहा था, बहुत एश्योरेंसेस दे रहे थे कि सब नॉर्मल है, सब ठीक है। अपेक्षा करेंगे कि अगर वो नॉर्मल की बात करते हैं और नॉर्मलाइजेशन की बात करती हैं, अभी भारत सरकार के पास जो साधन है उस साधनों के अंतर्गत जो बेस्ट कर सकती करना चाहिए। और मैं तो ये भी निवेदन करूँ, जो लोग फंसे हुए हैं वहां पर, उनको तुरंत वीजा दे दें। वो अपने आप किसी रंग से भी आए, वो अपना रास्ता अपने आप खोजेंगे, सरकार भी मदद करे, परंतु उनको वीजा मिल जाए तो सुविधा हो जाएगी।
जी, आरपी सिंह जी, thank you very much for joining us here on the broadcast. So this is an ongoing operation. We are told of this attack that has been reported. A group of unidentified gunmen who stormed at a Gurdwara in Kabul, Afghanistan on Saturday and started to open fire. Sirsa Saab is also with us on the phone line. Sirsa Saab, we just heard your reaction that came in. Exactly अभी तक क्या details अभी तक आपको मालूम है सर?
अभी जो मेरी बात हुई है, ये पता चला कि एक आदमी हाथात हुआ है, वन ऑफ देम इज किल्ड। जो हमारे गुरुद्वारे के लोग थे, जो उन लोगों को अंदर से जानकारी मिली है कि जो पुलिस वहां पे मौके पर पहुंची है, पुलिस अभी तक ये तो नहीं बता पा रही कि ये कौन सा दहशतगर्द है, कौन सा ग्रुप है, लेकिन उन्होंने ये बताया कि एक सिख की जो बॉडी है वो गुरुद्वारे के प्रांगण में बाहर दिख रही है। तो वो ऐसा माना जा रहा है कि ही इज नो मोर। ये पुलिस के लोगों ने हमारे लोगों को वहां पर जानकारी दी है।
जी, तो करीबन सर कितने लोग थे अंदर गुरुद्वारे के जब ये हमला हुआ?
देखिए, एग्जैक्ट नंबर नहीं पता, लेकिन 10 लोग थे, क्योंकि ऐसा बताया गया कि शाम को 6 शरणार्थी भी आए थे गुरुद्वारे में, जो शरण लेने आते अक्सर आते हैं, जो आसपास के लोग रहते हैं और रात को गुरुद्वारा साहब में आ जाते हैं। तो रात को गुरुद्वारे में 6 लोग ये थे, ग्रंथी थे, और उसके अलावा कुछ लोग संगत के भी 1-2 गए थे। तो ऐसा माना जा रहा है कि 10 लोग हो सकते हैं, लेकिन एग्जैक्ट नंबर नहीं पता। अभी एक बॉडी जो है, पुलिस के मुताबिक, पुलिस ने जो लोगों को बताया, हमारे लोगों को, कि एक बॉडी जो सरदार की है, सिख है एक, वो एक बॉडी जो गुरुद्वारे के और गुरुद्वारे के गेट के बीच में है, और ऐसा माना जा रहा है कि इज नो मोर। और वो वहां पर है, क्योंकि ना तो पुलिस वहां पहुंच पा रही है, ना वो वहां से, क्योंकि वो उसको गोली लगी हुई है, तो इसके लिए वो वहां से नहीं हिल रहा। और ऐसा माना जा रहा है कि वो उनके में वो मस्ट हैव बीन किल्ड, ही मस्ट हैव एक्सपायर्ड। लेकिन अभी इससे ज्यादा अभी तक, क्योंकि पुलिस वहां पे पहुंची, पुलिस को ये भी नहीं पता कि ये कौन सा ग्रुप है।
तो मतलब सर गनमैन अभी भी बिल्डिंग के अंदर है, गुरुद्वारे के अंदर है?
जी, गुरुद्वारे के अंदर हैं, और गुरुद्वारे के अंदर से वो फायरिंग कर रहे हैं लगातार, क्रॉस फायरिंग हो रही है लगातार, अंदर से बम फेंके जा रहे हैं। गुरुद्वारे के एक पोर्शन में आग लगा दी गई है।
जी सिरसा साहब, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर जॉइनिंग इन, बिकॉज आप हमें फर्स्ट हैंड डिटेल्स दे रहे हैं द अटैक दैट हैज हैपेंड, एंड इट इज बीइंग सेड दैट द assailants are still inside the Gurudwara building and the attack continues. Mohit, because it is being said that over 20 people are inside. Of course, we are not getting any confirmed number of the casualties or injuries.
Well, yes, in fact, as of now, we do not have the exact number of the casualty or the injuries, but what we are getting from to know from our sources is that there were various people inside the Gurdwara, and more than 2 to 3 assailants have gone inside the Gurdwara, and literally they started firing. And we can also see in these visuals that how the smoke is coming out of the Kabul Gurdwara. It seems that some blast was also being used some explosive is also being used. So as of now, we do not have the details. But what we are also getting to know from our sources back there in Kabul is that the gunfight is still raging as of now. But the people are still stuck inside because you see, since the takeover of of Afghanistan by Taliban, the minorities over there, specifically the Hindus and the Sikhs, they have been saying this, that their life is in complete danger, and many of them are staying in Gurdwara. So we do not know whether in this particular Gurdwara also people have taken shelter, whether they were inside it, whether they're outside the vicinity of Gurdwara. We do not know as of now. But yes, it's a very tragic incident that has come to light. And what we are also being told is that more than one gunman has gone inside the Gurdwara and they have started shooting at people. And as Mr. Sirsa, the BJP was saying, because he has sources in Kabul, in that particular Gurdwara, that one person has lost his life. But though it has not been confirmed officially from the MEA or from the government sources. But as of now, the gunfight is still raging, the smoke is still coming out, and people are saying that still they can hear the gunshots.
Absolutely, because there are videos that are coming around of this entire building. This is said to be the Gurdwara Karte Parwan there in Kabul, one of the biggest Gurdwaras there in the city, which is now being held to ransom, as we still don't know how many assailants are there, how many gunmen are there, but it seems it has been going on for several hours, the firing and multiple explosions, Mohit, that have been heard and seen.
Well, yes, in fact, you see, what we are getting to know is that it has been going on for a long time, and still we do not know the exact number of people who are inside the Gurdwara and how many attackers are there. But what we are getting to know is that it's more than one or two attackers who have gone inside. They were armed with weapons and they have arbitrarily started shooting at the people. Now, it was complete panic over there. We still don't know that how many people were there. But you see, we have seen that how Afghan Sikhs have again and again said to Indian government that they want to come to India because their life is in danger since the takeover of Afghanistan by Taliban. And we know that how Taliban specifically has been against the minority. They have imposed Taliban rule over there, and now we see these visuals. These are horrifying visuals where you can see this black smoke coming out of the particular Gurdwara, and it clearly shows that they were also armed with explosives. But as of now, there is no clarity that how many people were inside or how many are injured.
Right, because this is still an ongoing situation. The attack that was reported on Saturday, and this is being said that all of the assailants there inside, still the number is not being confirmed, but there are over 20 people from the Sikh community who have been trapped in the Gurdwara building and they are unable to get out. But this is what is being said, that it will be the role of the ISIS. This is just a preliminary report, Mohit, that we are getting as of now.
But as of now, we do not know that who exactly is behind this, and we also do not know that.
Right, we'll just reconnect that line with Mohit, but this is the shocking news that is coming in from Kabul as terrorists attacked a Gurdwara. At least multiple explosions and gunfire that has been reported from the Gurdwara premises. Maharuf, additional details, because now that is being said that it could be an attack from the ISIS.
Well, it's most likely to be an attack from an insurgent group supported by Pakistan, whether it is ISIS or it is another group which is operating there. We have known in the past that the Lashkar-e-Toiba had also been operating in Afghanistan. You might remember the attack on the Indian mission in Afghanistan, which was an LET operation. Essential purpose of this being twofold. One is to show that Afghanistan, like they try to do in Kashmir, is not a welcoming place for other religions other than hardline Islam. And the other aspect is that these elements are trying to justify their attacks on these places by saying that India uses this as a cover to further surveillance activities of what Pakistan and its friends in the militant outfits in Afghanistan are doing, because Pakistan has this obsession about India operating through neutral bodies like religious places and diplomatic missions. What the eventual outcome will be, we'll have to wait and watch. But clearly, this increases the case for these people from Afghanistan for shelter in India as per the new CAA arrangement. So therefore, the implications for India are the likelihood of more people wanting to come in. Yesterday, an Afghan carrier arrived with 9 people from Afghanistan and took back 26 from here. But these are more likely to be people who were earlier refugees in India of Afghan origin, which means Afghanistan's Muslims. But now, Afghan carrier which is coming in might bring in more people, so the government should brace for more people seeking rights to stay in India because of the insecurity that they face. There are about 150 Afghan Sikhs who are continuing to be in Afghanistan and nearby in Kabul. So therefore, they are a small community and they've been allowed a certain degree of acceptance by the Afghans, and they've gone on with their religious activities in the past. I don't see why suddenly they are being attacked. Clearly, this is part of Pakistan's larger design, and also for ISIS, which has been encouraged by Pakistan to find its feet out there. ISIS hasn't flown in out of the blue on its own and suddenly taken control of Afghanistan. Afghanistan is a territory which is now controlled by the Pakistani intelligence agencies, and anybody operating there, any terror attacks, my first thought would be to blame the ISI.
Right, but Maruf, looking at the current situation as recently the talks were held with the Talibani representatives and the Indian officials, how does it spell out, especially looking at the current situation?
See, India is trying to engage with the Taliban with one or two things in its mind. One is the fact that there is a group of advisors in New Delhi who believe we should restore diplomatic engagement with the Taliban-led government. I am not for it, for the simple reason that how suddenly a group of people that until yesterday you were calling terrorists become now acceptable for you to have a government in place and you putting a diplomatic mission. In any case, our diplomatic mission there operates under a lot of pressure, and it doesn't mean that if we don't have an ambassador in place in Afghanistan, we are not fully functional through our mission in Kabul, which is a small building. I've been there. It's near the main city center, and it does help and facilitate visas to India because there are a lot of Sikhs who wish to come here and do their trade with India, particularly in dry fruit and other things. But having engagement with the Taliban-led government is effectively engaging with people who are terrorists. More than half the cabinet ministers of the Taliban-led government in Afghanistan are UN-proscribed terrorists. So how can they become legitimized just because they become part of a new government installed by Pakistan in Kabul?
All right, Colonel Singh is with us on the phone line. Sir, we are getting this unfortunate news of an attack that has been reported at a Gurdwara there in Kabul, sir. It is now being said that there are over 160 Sikhs who were actually wanting to come back to India, but there was some visa issue and now this attack has happened, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. In Parwan, this news is coming from Parwan that they have attacked, and that is sad. And let's be very clear that Taliban, which is in the government today, is incapable of controlling all these elements, whether it is IS or the Punjabi terrorists who have taken shelter in southern Punjab, who target India. So this should be understood by all, and there is nothing very astonishing that has happened. This kind of incident, you can say that it was waiting to happen. And on our part, we should have expedited the issue of giving them visa so that they could have migrated to India and be safe and, of that nature. So, but the shocking incident actually also highlights our lethargy on our part. We could have gone with all our diplomatic skills and efforts to get these guys in India. So it's a sad news that is coming in.
Right, but sir, if we look at the current situation, India on one hand is trying to engage with the Taliban, but do we have any hope from the Taliban to actually come in this ongoing operation? We are told that heavy gun battle is underway. Will they even intervene?
Talibanis are being challenged by ISIS-K, and this particular group is challenging the authority of Taliban, and Taliban will definitely engage with them. This is also an indicator that what lies ahead. There has been, irrespective of the fact that they were all terrorists and now they are in power, there was some sort of peace at ground level, so to say. The terrorist attacks and bombings were not happening. Now they have started, and this is a signature of ISIS. They cannot, they have stated that no non-Muslim will be allowed to stay in Afghanistan. Either they have to convert or they have to get killed. So they are following their philosophy. Taliban says that we will not allow any such incident and we will protect the minorities. So let's see how they are able to walk the talk, but that is what they have stated. Now you have said that we have been trying to engage with Taliban. Yes, we are trying to engage with Taliban, and we have given a lot of assistance to Taliban in terms of humanitarian assistance to Taliban. So if that be so, then why not we get these guys back? Where is the issue? Why can't we get these 100 and whatever the number that you quoted back in India with the diplomatic...
Over 160, I believe, sir. We have been speaking to the representatives here too, and they are saying that they are trying to fast forward the process because the SOS calls have been made for quite some time now, as the Sikh community there is wanting to come back to India. Thank you very much, Colonel Singh, for your detailed point of view. I believe we have Puneet Singh with us from the Indian World Forum. Puneet, if you can hear me, can you give us the updated details exactly what's happening there at the Gurdwara?
Well, this is an unfortunate incident which has happened today morning around 6:15 a.m. local Kabul time, and the firing is still underway. As I speak to your viewers, few seconds back I had a word with Gurram Singh, the president of Gurdwara Karte Parwan in Kabul, and along with other community representatives over there. The situation is alarming. The security forces of Taliban have seized the place. The fighting is still underway with the militants. As per the local community, this attack has been led by a militant outfit known as Daesh, ISIS. The reason and the motive behind of this attack is unknown and unclear. And as per sources, when this attack happened up, approximately 25 to 30 people from the Sikh community were present inside the Gurdwara for the first morning prayers, and the Prakash of Sri Guru Granth Sahib was underway. And as I speak to you right now, the entire Gurdwara is set on fire. The battle is still on between the forces, and as per sources, few casualties have been taken even to the hospital. Approximately 10 to 15 people managed to escape from the attack, but still around 10 to 15 people from the Sikh and Hindu community are trapped inside the Gurdwara. So it's unaware and unclear what will be their fate.
Achha, this is like really unfortunate. We are getting this news of this tragedy that has been unfolding because we are told that many attempts and SOS calls that were made to the Indian government for them to be migrated immediately to India, but that was not happening, sir.
This is correct. On 27th of May 2022, I only submitted the list. There were certain people of Afghan Hindus and Sikhs, because of their personal reasons, they could not take up the last repatriation flight in December, which was facilitated and sponsored by Government of India. So there were approximately now 150 to 160 Afghan nationals belonging to Hindu and Sikh community stranded in Kabul seeking e-visa for India for the past 1 year. And their plea was again and again from Government of India that the e-visas will be issued and they may be making the travel arrangements on their own. But it's unfortunate their visas were not processed, and it's unclear. We don't want to get out into a blame game, but everywhere there should be a humanitarian approach to the subject. Had the visas been issued prior to this incident, God forbid if any casualty number goes, we could have averted this incident.
Right, we're still awaiting what is the news coming from inside. Puneet ji, thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. As you can see, the building is up in blaze in the flames, where we can see black smoke that seems to be billowing out from the building itself. This is a Gurdwara, one of the prominent ones right in the heart of the city of Kabul. Let's just listen in. Well, the firing is underway as explosions that can be heard, gun battle that is still ongoing. Maharuf, exactly what does it explain this situation, especially when it comes to those over 150 Sikhs that is being said they have been left stranded in Kabul to fend for themselves?
You see, when attacks like this take place at a place where people have congregated, the implications are as follows. Those caught up inside would either be held as hostage or become unfortunate victims of crossfiring between those troops who have surrounded the building and those militants who have done the damage, and some of them could be inside holding them hostage. So it's a very delicate situation. Any use of force without a well thought through, calibrated plan, when you need maps of the building inside, you need locations of people who are caught up, would only increase the number of casualties. Would there be a compromise solution? There could be a compromise solution, because the Taliban can always engage with the ISIS Afghanistan, which is ISIS-A, and tell them that we are both on the same front of trying to create an Islamic state in Afghanistan. And unfortunately, all these people, whether it's the ISIS, Taliban, or even hardline groups in Pakistan that advocate an Islamic state, this is precisely the opposite of what an Islamic state should be. And they have been using force and demographic cleaning up of certain parts of the society to make their point that Islam is intolerant. Islam, on the other hand, actually accommodates all kinds of religion, and don't look at some hardline state, but look at the kind of Indian population that is in Dubai, Qatar, and other places who have been given a chance to make a good life.
Of course, when it comes to the attack against minorities, something not new, both when it comes to in Pakistan and of course in Afghanistan. Now this is a Gurdwara that has now come under terror attack in Kabul. We'll continue getting you live updates. Maharuf, thank you very much for the moment. We head into a short break with the headlines.